There's the clap for sync.
Wait, is it recording? I don't see the light on it.
It's because there's tape on it. Did you not hear me just say that?
Nope.
There's tape on the front of it, so the SOS people didn't know that we were recording. Let's get the intro going. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing the intro. Don't you dare open your mouth. I'm doing the intro. Welcome back to the podcast where we podcast about podcasting. This is the STV podcast, Sentinel Studios Podcast, not the STV, because I can't say STV anymore, apparently. Anyways, yeah, welcome back to the podcast. Why are all of you muted?
So that Alisha didn't interrupt your intro.
Oh, thank you. You're true G. Thank you, Keller. Anyways, welcome back to the podcast where we podcast about podcasting. If you can't tell by our costumes, we're shooting this on Halloween. So, end of the month.
I think Alisha's the only one in costume right now.
Well, I took my robe off. I had a Jedi robe on.
I'm just wearing a really fancy dress at this point.
Yeah. Anyways, what are we talking about today?
The horrors of producing Sentinel News.
The mistakes.
Our
behind-
mistakes. More specifically, our mistakes.
Yeah, the
We've made
producer
We've
mistakes.
had some
in the
serious
last 2 years. We've made a lot of mistakes. Sorry, let me re-clarify. Alisha's made a lot of mistakes that
It's
have
always
cost
me.
all of us a lot of time.
I mean,
Hey,
I'm fairly certain I was actually
audio.
the one who plugged in the battery.
Shh. We don't talk about the battery.
we don't talk about Bruno.
We're not gonna go back to that. I hated that. Anyways,
I think we should start with last year to get it out of the way.
yeah, let's kick
My
it off.
memory doesn't go
Put
back
it in the
that far.
in
Let's-
the past.
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of problems, especially when all of us were brand new to producing.
But jumbled in
missed
just the
it.
mix. Of,
Yeah. So the mix between us as new producers and Silver as a new teacher, it kind of took a toll on all of us because none of us really knew what we were doing because nobody really knew anybody else. So
but
it
they
was,
thought they knew what they were doing.
exactly. So it was kind of like throwing different people into the deep end of producing and just seeing who learned to swim and who learned to sink. So
Survival of the fittest.
as you can see, that's me. I'm the fittest right here.
Okay, but physically speaking,
we can see
yes.
all three who decided they could swim in this shark-infested waters.
producer Keller. I definitely swam faster than y'all.
I'm technical producer.
I made you technical
I
producer.
just waited for the nice yacht to come and pick me up to take me to the end.
Yeah, Daddy's yacht. I mean, I didn't say that. Anyways, yeah, between the mix last year of having us all and trying to get shows out, there was we moved a lot. We moved
Yeah.
the set like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost a lot of our props in that process. I don't know if they were stolen or like they just ended up somewhere in the set, but we lost a lot of our set.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've kind of rebuilt it, and I'm staring at it, by the way. I like it. I like it the way we have it now,
Yeah.
especially now that we have 2 sets. We have the Mountain Ridge Morning Show set too, and we have the main anchoring set.
And now we have this set.
Now we have this set. This is a new set. If you can't tell, it's kind of in the works right now. It's not wide enough, frankly, so you'll see maybe 1 or 2 shelves, but we have a shelf on either side.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've kind of constructed it finally to where it's stable.
It's like
I should
life.
say.
We've finally gotten to that point into like our classroom work and everything to where we're able to no longer stress about being a producer, but we can start doing fun things like building new sets and getting more things together.
Yeah, we actually have a foundation now, which is really nice.
It only took 5 years of the school being open.
Yeah, well, since the school opened.
Hey, doesn't matter what the journey was like.
Hey,
It's where you end up at the end.
We're leaving our footprint here. Well, I am. I mean,
Yeah, you need to clean your shoes.
my shoes are clean. I'm leaving my footprint. I moved all of this last year.
I helped.
You did, but I did the majority of the heavy lifting. We actually used to have our set.
And then the fire marshal helped by telling us that we couldn't do anything.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. So we moved our set about 45 degrees and then back more to where it's on the tile or the aluminium, not aluminium. That's aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
Linoleum. That's the word I was looking for. So we moved it onto the linoleum, and so now it's more stable instead of having it sit on the carpet. And when we originally had it set, we had it set up against the door, and the fire marshal had come in, and he told us that we have to have a clear walkway past the door over there, and so we had to actually scoot it about 6 inches. And by this time, we had the cupboards on there, we had the main platform on there, the backdrop. We had everything set the day that he actually came in, and so we had to take all of that off and move the foundation over and then put it back on. And we had to do that with both sets because we had both sets set. So we had the Mountain Ridge Morning set completely built, and then we had the main anchoring set built as well. And so we had to take everything off of those sets and move it over and then put everything back on, which took 2 weeks. I think it took us like 2 weeks to do all that.
Longer than we wanted.
Just to move it 6 inches. And funny enough, we still got a story out the very next week. So I still can't believe that we did that. That was wild. Yeah. It wasn't great. In my opinion, that was probably one of our worst broadcasts we put out, just because the color correction was bad. They were rush stories.
We had a new switcher.
We did have a new switcher, so we were working with new technology that we hadn't played with before.
Oh, and also because of the fire marshal, we had to redo all of the cabling.
Oh, that's right.
Because they wouldn't let us run it under the door anymore because it was a fire hazard. So instead, they drilled a hole through the wall, which
you can stick your entire hand through, by the way.
Entire leg through.
So that's safe.
Fire definitely can't spread through that.
I'm like 95% sure. Yeah, but if the cables ever caught on fire, they could easily just travel up the cables, and so it was it was a hectic week, to be honest. We had to rerun all our cables, and we had a lot of problems on the tech side of everything. And Keller was there to help. Luckily enough, that's why we made him the tech producer.
On top of that, we were getting new students who just wanted to
dive
touch and
straight
fight
in
and play and mess up with everything, and we're trying to stay calm.
That's kind of how I learned, though.
By the way, we're transitioning towards this year now.
Yeah.
We should have mentioned that. This wasn't last year. This was this year. This is the start of this year. But we had a lot of new kids that them and their friends took this class, and so they wanted to get onto it, and they actually started roughhousing, and we had a couple problems with a couple of kids, but I think we fixed that now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least just a little bit better anyway.
Just wait until next quarter.
Ooh, yay. So excited.
We're all in this together.
Oh, man. But yeah. What is a story you guys have put out that you just don't like? Like that you regret producing?
Seasons of Scarlet opening assembly last year.
Oh, that one was rough.
It was rough.
That one was bad. Me and Keller both shot that one. And Miguel? Was it Miguel?
No,
it was just me and Keller.
And then I edited it. It's actually on my personal YouTube channel. It's not public, but it's on there.
Yeah.
So I actually have two. I have one from last year, which was the first one that I ever produced or sent out. And it was supposed to be for all of our spring sports. And it was just the photos of all the sports teams,
Looked like a slideshow.
Yeah, it was really rough and choppy. That one I was very ashamed of, and I thought it looked really, really bad. And then my second one would probably be the ballroom video that never went out this year. I've just completely scrapped that story because it was never worth.
That was rough. Yeah.
Like the Green Earth Club commercial, we keep trying to finish. Film that. There's just one or two more shots we need to get. But the weather keeps being so bad.
I swear that commercial's cursed. Every time you guys try to film that commercial, even if it's the sunniest day,
it
rains.
Only one rain cloud, and it's above you filming.
The issue is we also need to have in the same outfit.
Don't use names. Don't use names.
I'll just bleep it out.
Yeah, we can bleep it out later. But yeah, we've.
But it's because he needs to have the same clothes as the first day we film, so that.
Yeah.
Still makes sense.
Yeah. But man, have we been through a lot? Was it today? Today we had a little bit of an incident. We had one of our producers who just barely came back. We had just a little bit of a smoke problem. I don't know how much detail we can go into. But
It was
Let's
always
just say,
burn until the world stopped turning.
be careful what you put in a microwave.
yeah, be careful what you put in a microwave because some things catch really fast, and especially if you're not paying attention.
Fortunately, he was.
He was, which was good. He stopped it pretty fast. But
Does make some cool sounds though.
yeah, but it's really dangerous. So don't do anything stupid. Anyways, we've had
Speaking of doing things stupid, we've had incidents where kids were going into classrooms.
Or climbing on top of vending machines.
Hey, we love Nate.
No
Hey,
saying
no
names.
names.
No, we can use that name.
No
He's
saying
gone.
names.
Yeah, he graduated.
He's gone. We can use that
He
name.
graduated.
Let's see. What's another stupid thing kids try and do?
So I had this is a story that nobody ever knows about, and I haven't told you guys. I had a kid bring me a story, and he was like, "This is going to be the best story ever." And he had snuck into the ceramics room. The ceramics room was locked, and he had snuck in there, and he had made a pot. Like, he was in ceramics, but he had made a pot while it was dark. Right, so the classroom lights weren't on. He had snuck in there, and he filmed the entire thing, and he was like, "Join ceramics," without permission, and he brought it to me, and he's like, "I want this to go live on Sentinel News." And I was like, "Do you have permission to be in there?" And he was like, he's like, "No, I don't." I was like, then absolutely not."
Yeah.
Yeah, be smart. Oh man, I've people bring me stories, and I just sometimes question them. The majority of Alisha's stories, I just question.
Also,
We talked about this. You said we would not fight on air. I've not said one feisty thing.
No. You said we wouldn't beef.
This is beefing.
This is fighting.
No fighting
I'd
on
say
air.
this is more of porking.
Thank you, Keller.
Just go back to
But also
spamming.
another.
Okay, spam malicious.
Anyway, another stupid thing that people tend to do is check out equipment that they aren't supposed to, like new equipment that doesn't have barcodes.
Who did that one?
No idea.
Oh, you have no idea who did that one?
Nope, just heard it.
Oh, really? Oh,
Not
yeah.
turning equipment off when they're done.
I think we're all guilty of
Yeah.
Video ones.
that. Gosh.
They leave the microphones on, so we have little rigs that have microphones on them, and you just stick the camera underneath on the bottom of the rig, and then you just plug the mic in, but you have to turn the mic on. So a lot of the video ones will be finished shooting until they unplug the mic, take the camera off, and just stick the supports back in the closet and not turn the mic off. And I've replaced probably 6 or 7 microphones this year.
And they're a pain to replace
Because you have to pull off the barcode and get the battery out. They suck.
Yeah.
They're horrible.
And they're 9 volts too.
Yeah, they are. Not
Okay,
fun.
I have a question for you guys.
Do tell.
What is a story that you thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be insane? Go to start filming it, get a little bit, and then you go to edit it, and you're like, this is the dumbest thing. This is not going to work. And you realize that this story was a complete bust from the beginning.
I will let me tag onto this one really fast. So last week, funny enough, this is really recent. Last week I started filming, or 2 weeks ago, because last week was fall break.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago I started filming a volleyball commercial, and it looks really good. Till I realized that state champions were this week. So it's no good unless I go and film state champs, which is on Thursday, which means I might not be here on Thursday. But
I'm not going to be here Thursday.
yeah, if I go film state champs, then maybe I can use that footage. But right now, it's just a scrapped story. But it's really cool. But that's just my opinion. So
One that I feel didn't turn out nearly as well as I was hoping was, do you remember last spring when I made that video about all the snow melt causing the flooding?
oh
and
yeah,
stuff?
the flooding story. It was good.
The voiceover though,
The voiceover definitely did help that.
but
Yeah.
also some of the information in the voiceover was inaccurate because I handed off the voiceover to somebody else.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I didn't provide them enough information.
I do.
His
remember
voiceover
that.
was great. I just didn't give him enough
Yeah.
information.
Yeah, that was your fault. What about you? You have a story that you thought was going to turn out better than it did, other than
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think a lot of my stories are they're very unique to what I style into filming. I think one of the stories I'd have to say, even though it was pretty liked, was our lunchroom video. I mean, it was amazing, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like it could have been more zesty, if that makes sense. Like there could have been more seasoning. It
Could have
just
been more juice.
Yeah, it kind of felt like tap water.
Yeah.
It just kind of
But like flavored tap water.
Yeah.
But like the unflavored flavoring.
Yeah, it's like the water you get at restaurants. You're like, this is good, but it's not. You can tell it's tap water.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's somewhere between tap water and
Filtered
spring
water.
water.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the best that we've
Oh,
produced.
it was good though. That's probably one of the stories that like I genuinely see you produce, and it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty good. I don't see anything wrong with it. No, I've had my fair share of bad stories. Especially my first year here, I put out a couple stories when I was working under Aiden, because he was our head producer last year. When I was working under Aiden, there was a couple stories that I brought into him, and he was like, "This is great. It has potential, but you need to change this, this, and this." Well, he didn't say it like that. That's just the way I paraphrased it. But and I'd go and change it, and then by the time that I had everything done, because I was in the process of learning the new cameras and editing and all that kind of stuff. By the time it was done, it was irrelevant. It wasn't timely enough. So there's a lot of stories that I have that are done that have huge potential that never went out just because, I just wasn't fast enough. I just didn't have enough time. But that's all right. It's just kind of one of the things that you learn as a producer.
I actually made today in video 1, they were talking about making documentaries, and I actually made a documentary last year.
You want to say that word one more time?
Documentary.
There you go.
I made it last year, and it was supposed to be about like not getting your audio when you go to film. Oh. And I'm not going to say names, but somebody didn't like it very much. They thought I could just edit it and tighten it and keep cleaning it and cleaning it and cleaning it. And by the time I was done like cleaning it, it was so different from my original film. It wasn't the same. And that's when I just realized that like some of your stories are going to change so much, it's not even worth producing.
Didn't you make the documentary about not being able to get the audio when you're filming because you were filming something else and didn't get the audio?
Yes, exactly what happened.
Yeah. So as we kind of wrap up here, is there any stories that you guys are looking forward to coming up, or that you guys have in mind for personal use or whatever?
I can start this one off because I'm really excited. I have a teachers, basically, not necessarily like teachers mic'd up, but I'm interviewing teachers, and I'm so excited for it. Like, because some of these teachers are just like balling. Like, they just were like spicy. They just came out of nowhere and was
is it the video that you have done?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And these teachers are just like, they really just were like going all out on some of these students who bug them. So I'm really excited for that one to air.
Yeah. What about you, Keller? You have any upcoming stories? I know Keller's more of a technical producer guy. He kind of helps with all the technical side of things and sends other people out to film, but Keller does some good work.
I can't think of anything at the moment that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay. Well, then
except for maybe Andy's car corner.
Oh, Andy does great work. We can use his name because we're talking highly of him.
Yes.
Andy does great work. We put out his car corner not too long ago, his first one, and it was great. Like it was amazing. Oh, my thing is falling. That's fine. Yeah, it was great. He did great work. I'm excited to see what he holds. But for me personally, I have a couple videos that are coming out. I've just kind of been working behind the scenes, of just kind of flying below the radar, just trying to find stories that I can use. And I have one coming out. It's not a story, but it's actually a project I've been working on for about a year and a half now. It's a short film called The Clock, and that's something I've been working on and editing. And I think I don't know when I'm going to be able to get it out, but it looks pretty good from what I have. And I'm going to try.
Was it inspired by that one graphic?
No. Funny enough, I got the idea. Do you remember the big clock from last year? The one that says "This is our time,"
Yeah.
And like everybody had signed it. I got the idea from that. But no, I've got that coming up. And then my goal is to try to use this volleyball stuff. Go film state champs, try to get some good footage out, and just try to clash the two together just to see if it would work. Why are you blowing on the mic?
I don't know. It makes a really cool noise. Sorry.
Anyway.
Okay, well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up.
No, stop.
No, we need to talk about that one last story, the big one, the battery.
Oh. So this is. Let me just roll this in before we start talking about it. So, the battery is only referenced between the producers, mainly because only the producers know about it.
Only the producers are supposed to know about it.
But you guys are getting exclusive content. So.
You do realize this is going to be public on YouTube.
Oh yeah. This is that's why it's exclusive content. You don't get this on
exclusive to the public.
Exactly. You don't get this on Sentinel News because we have rules we have to follow. But do you want to tell the story?
It was September 3rd, 1984. I don't actually know what day
Okay,
it was.
shaker.
What day? It doesn't matter.
Anyways,
Random
hang on.
Thursday.
Let me give it a little bit more of an introduction. So, this was after we had cleaned up the studio. We had just put brand new cords on the floor for our cameras. We had just finished running everything through the new fire hole in the wall, and we had actually just moved the cart. We had changed the way the cart was facing. We had run some new cables to the cart. We actually hooked the TV up finally. So this was after we had everything set, and we thought we were doing pretty good.
And we had like a new switcher, new equipment.
Yeah, this was after we had set up like a bunch of our new equipment, especially this. We actually set this up. So yeah, but this was after we had set all of our new equipment up, and we had probably 2 or 3 shows out by this point.
No, I think it was like our second show. Like
Was
we
it-
only had the 0 episode and episode 1.
Okay.
So it
So
wasn't.
yeah, we had just barely
No, it was
set base.
It was Mountain Ridge Morning Show that we had just finished.
Yeah. But we had just barely set base on
This year.
this year. Do you want to tell it? Or you want me to tell it?
So basically, it was during lunch, and sometimes some of us will like stay in here to get some work done or just hang out. And I'm pretty sure it was just me, Alisha, and Mr. Silver.
Yeah.
Right?
I was in here too.
Yeah.
Were you?
I was.
Well,
I was out here working.
we were out in the classroom, and I just start smelling smoke. And I'm like, do you guys smell smoke? And so we all just went to the back room and started trying to figure out what it was. Unplugging everything, turning everything off.
So we were actually in kind of a short lockdown to where we couldn't do anything because we needed to find out where the smell was coming from. And so we couldn't film a lot. We could only film with handhelds. We couldn't actually use the teleprompters or the big cameras because we were more worried about where the smell was coming from.
We were,
Yeah, because it
fairly-
smelled like it was coming from the set.
Yeah.
we thought it was coming from like the switcher cart, like maybe some big clump of dust had gotten caught in the fan of one of the pieces of equipment.
Yeah, so me and Keller and Miguel we'd pulled the cart back out and we had unplugged everything. We got a can of compressed air and we were just spraying the cart down, just trying to get dust off of it. And we had cleaned that cart so well. Like there was not a speck of dust on it.
There wasn't a speck of anything on it.
It was so
everything
clean.
off. We took everything off.
Yeah, and then we plugged everything back in. We removed a lot of the cables in the back that weren't necessary. So we removed a lot of that. We plugged everything back in. And
It took like a week.
this took a whole week, but we got it done. We got our broadcast out for that week, but we didn't find out where that smell was coming from
Until 3 days after we
so
got
I had come in like 3 days after, and I was putting batteries on the charger just because I had borrowed a camera, and I was putting batteries on the charger, and I just got that whiff of smoke again. What's up, Kova? I got that whiff of smoke again, and I couldn't find out what it was, and so I was replacing some of the lights, like the batteries on the lights out here that we use, and one of them was stuck, and I couldn't get it undone, and so finally I just grabbed both hands and I pulled it. And the front half of the battery was melted to the charger itself. That's our cue that we have to be done.
Yes.
But the
I
front.
have to go to work.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's get the intro.
Bye.
Let's get the outro.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Producers producing.
This is producers producing podcast.
Woo!
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know.
We'll see you guys next week. Not next week, next month.